Touring Cars 500 Finale Round 1 on the streets of London. Hello everybody and welcome to Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. Today we're driving a Honda NSX-GT. We're driving it in our Pro Touring Cars part of the season, and we're in a Touring Cars 500 event. We're driving on the streets of London on the Buckingham Palace View. We're doing 3 laps and we started 11th of 22. Now these laps are decent length, but don't let that fool you. At the speed that we're driving, it's not going to take long to finish them. So we don't have a lot of time to sit around and survey the track. Try and keep up with the main pack. Try and keep up with the main pack and try and pick a few off as if possible along the way. You know, and that way you'll move up a little bit as you're surveying everything and you're still making progress. It's not always possible, but that's what I like to try and do in the first lap. See, as you can sneak by 2 of them there. Now we started 11th and we're still 1 position back from where we started. So we got to try and improve upon that before the first lap is done. Then in the second lap, I always like to try and catch up to the front of the pack, you know, about 5th or 6th car, and in the last lap maybe try and pick them off one at a time. Just like that is usually the best way. Now when I first started racing, I always wanted to, when I caught up to a bunch of cars like this, I wanted to get by them all at the same time in one fell swoop. And it just doesn't work. My driving style was horrible and I didn't win a lot of races and things were a little bit too chaotic for me. So I thought I'd slow down a little bit, you know, try and go a little bit easier, enjoy the race for what it was, and if you ended up in 10th, you ended up in 10th. But lo and behold, it ended up working for me. I slowed down and surveyed in the first lap and passed a few cars. In the second lap, I'd go a little faster, pass a few more. And in the third lap, I'd be challenging for first place. Ended up being a lot of fun, you know, so that's the way I continue to play. As we're trying to catch up to the next car here, we're getting close to finishing our first lap. And like I said, you know, decent length laps, but well, I tell you, at the speed we're driving, it goes by pretty quick. Absolutely gorgeous race at nighttime on the streets of London, you know, and this little Honda NSX, boy, I tell you, just a dream to drive. Some of these cars, you know, they don't only look good, but when you drive them, they feel like they got a really good traction on the road and they don't slip or slide a lot, and they got a decent amount of power. So this is one of those kinds of cars. It's a fun car to drive. Now as we're catching up to the last 5 cars, we did really well in that first lap. There again, you know, you got this green car in front of you. Try to stay with him at the minimum, and if you can pass, well, we got a straight stretch here, so we'll take one and we'll squeeze into the line again and just continue with him, because we still got lots of time. You know, we got at least a lap and a half left to go, so we got lots of time and only 4 cars to pass, and all 4 of them are in front of you. So, you know, the best thing I would always like to do is just kind of stay with them and pick one off here and there. But I don't really care for leading the pack. I mean, when you lead the pack, you got to set the pace. And if you're not paying attention to your rearview mirror, like the Opafed is very well at doing quite often, you know, you can get a car squeezing by you at the last second in the last lap. So that's why I prefer to chase, and I can see all my competition. I can see where number 1 is, and I can see exactly where all the cars are. So I don't like to be the pace car, but sometimes that's just the way it works out, and when it does, that's just the way it is. So we got by those other 2 cars. Now we only got the 2 left in front of us. Now I do have to remind the viewers, we are driving in Grid Legends, and as you know, anything can happen in Grid Legends. You know, a car could spin out, you could lose a car part. You just want to make sure that you're not so close behind him that you become part of the damage control. Oh, like that. Just missed him. Sometimes when they spin out harder, they take you right out of the race along with them. And then to try and get back on the track and recoup and get to the front is almost impossible. So your best bet is to keep a close eye, try and see if anything's going to happen. When you can usually see the cars acting a little weird in front of you. You need to stay off to the side a little bit or back off a little bit. As I said, we got lots of time. We're not in the third lap yet, so you know, do the best you can that way. But it's fun to watch them wipe out. I've seen them flip. I've seen them do all sorts of strange things, and it just adds to the excitement of the race, I think. You know, I really enjoy it because you never know what's going to happen, and that's the way racing is. So why not incorporate that into the game, which is what they did in Grid Legends, and they did it very well. It's really cool. Now we're in our third lap, and we're going to try and stick with this guy. I know one spot. When you've raced the tracks enough, you know where the best spots are to pass, and this one right here is probably the best on this particular track. So we figure we'll take him here, and we'll keep an eye on our counter and our rear view mirror so we don't forget where the cars are behind us. And as you can see, the car we just passed, Carvalho, is only not even a second behind me. Now the second is nothing, so you got to keep the pressure up and you got to go as hard as you can. If you want to have a good enough buffer zone where you don't have to worry too much, you got to get up in the 4 or 5 second lead. But sometimes that's just not possible because these cars go so fast, and you got to go around some of these corners. But I tell you, they really slow you down. Now we did manage to push it up to 2.5 seconds, so we're doing pretty good. But we got to make sure we drive the rest of the race clean, you know, because we don't want to have any problems or mistakes. Because even 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds, you know, if you spin out by the time you get running again, maybe there won't be enough time. But I don't think that's going to happen to the Opafett, because we're almost done the lap and we're almost done the race, and we should be seeing that checkered flag pretty soon. This car is absolutely awesome to drive. If you ever have the opportunity to do so in Grid Legends, give it a shot and you won't be disappointed. I really enjoyed this race, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Hope to see you back at Opafett Gaming again real soon. Until then, you've been driving in an NSX Honda GT, or is that a Honda NSX-GT, through the streets of London at night with me, the Opafett.